Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by former world champion Mr. Anthony Crolla via freebets.com. How are we doing today, Ant? Nice to do something in person.
Good to be here, mate. Good to be here. It's Rhiannon Dixon fight week, so happy for it and stuff, and I'm glad the fight's finally happening on the third, fourth time of asking, and looking forward to Saturday night.
How do the emotions differ for you being on a fight week as a trainer as it was when you were a fighter?
It's different, but I think hopefully because I experienced them myself, then I can pass on a little bit of experience to them and stuff like that. I think you've just got to enjoy this. You know, people are coming out with cameras, speak to you, you've got to embrace it a little bit.
I think up there we saw a little bit of spite from...
A little bit of spite. I won't say needle, but listen, I think there's respect there, but there's a bit like, I'm going to prove a point on Saturday, and Rhiannon being Rhiannon, she took they'll get the stoppage. I think she took it personal, and she's going to go out there on Saturday and prove a point.
Why do you believe this fight suits Rhiannon on Saturday?
I just believe Rhiannon. No one's nearly seen the best of Rhiannon Dixon. No one's nearly seen the best of Rhiannon Dixon, and if she shows anywhere near that on Saturday night, she'll look good in winning and winning in style, inside the distance as well, in my opinion. But she's like I say, she's such an hard worker after winning the world title. All she wanted to do was to get back in the gym, took herself away, paid for herself to go over sparring for me, one of the very best female fighters on the planet, Kelly Harrington, Chantel Cameron and stuff like that, and the improvement and the confidence she's took from that's massive.
You say when she first started training with her, you used the word rough diamonds.
Yeah.
What are the sort of characteristics and attributes that you saw in her that you're now seeing being polished up?
Fantastic athlete. She's a fantastic athlete. I believe that she didn't really have feet when she came in. I think her feet have improved so much. Her feet get her there, and she just started using those assets, for her. Very, fast twitch, so those fibers. I think that sort of generates the power, strong set of legs. I believe she's used them a lot better now, generating more power. That's just not from me, that's just from the team around her and stuff, with the strength, the conditioning. So that was it really. It was just sort of whereabouts and sort of defensively tighten her up a little bit. But that's sort of, you try to do that with all fighters, aren't you? But certainly with her, she had a lot of raw ability, do you know what I mean? So I'm lucky to work with someone like that.
She talked about this being just the start of the journey. Where do you see the future being for her?
I believe the future is winning titles, unifying world titles, possibly moving around weight divisions, winning more world titles. That's what I genuinely believe she's capable of doing.
We have to reflect on the weekend and the Wembley card, Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. Firstly, what were your sort of initial reactions to seeing Dubois get the huge stoppage?
It was, it wasn't a shock to me, Daniel Dubois getting the stoppage against AJ. What was a shock to me, and I think a lot of people, was the manner in which he went about doing it. Because if you was an Anthony Joshua fan, like nearly all of us are, it was a hard watch at times, because it was a one-sided. It was one. Other than the 5-10 seconds before the finish, it was a one-sided beating. We've got to be honest. So, Daniel Dubois was unbelievable. I think a lot of credit needs to be given to him.
Do you look at a fight like that differently now that you're a trainer?
Well, a little bit, and I'll be honest, I actually picked AJ 1-6, but I did say if Daniel Dubois comes through the first 3 rounds without shipping much punishment, because I do believe he'll take punishment, then he'll come back and he'll win in the second half. But I wasn't sitting on the fence. AJ was a prediction. However, what I will say is, what I was going to say, I totally forgot what I was saying then, so it's because someone was talking.
Don't worry, I'll pick that back up for you. Ben Davidson's come under a little bit of flack recent for that. I mean, the advice in the corner with the uppercut and some of the things he was telling Anthony Joshua to do. Do you sympathise with what he's taking?
Yeah, of course I feel sorry for Ben, but that's boxing. Listen, only a week ago, Ben and the team around him, who I think are a great team, you look at the results they've got over the years, there was the best thing since sliced bread. They changed. AJ was better than ever, but then in reality, they'd boxed Tato Valin, no disrespect, and an MMA fighter. So that hadn't been put to test yet. But now it's all Ben's fault and stuff like that. So people are very quick to change mind. When you judge Ben Davidson and the team there as coaches, you've got to look what they've done with a number of fighters, and they've done very good things.
For Anthony Joshua next, retirement is something that's going to be mentioned at this stage in his career. What would you like to see him do?
Listen, I really like Anthony Joshua, and I think he's had the most amazing career. I believe that he has had one of the biggest impacts on British boxing in history, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn there. He's inspired a generation. These stadium fights, the crowds he's got to boxing, is just unbelievable. And he's got to be given credit for that. He don't get enough credit for that. The stuff he does away from cameras for grassroots is brilliant. But now watching that kind of fight, don't just take years off your career. And I sound brutal here. That's not good for your health. Like, he took a lot of big shots against a very hard punching heavyweight, and I think no retirement's got to be a very serious consideration. And he's achieved so much. He really has. But listen, money is more money than you could spend in 10 lifetimes, I'm guessing. But the problem is that money's still there to be made with the bag that's going around at the minute amongst the heavyweights, Riyadh season and so on and so on. So there's always going to be people saying about him taking that, but I think it's something seriously got to think about.
Riyadh season and Turkey al-Sheikh are doing a lot for boxing, but when there is that money on offer, is it sometimes, would you say at this point in careers, tempting to just take the money?
Of course it's tempting, because it's not just a little bit of money we're talking about mental money, and especially heavyweights. I mean, I don't know how much truth's in it. And Tyson Fury's going, that's just cost me 150 million, and then Spencer going, no, it'll happen still, and there is still talk of him happening. But that's, even if it's a fraction of that, it's still massive money, isn't it? And there's still a lot of people who'll be, come on, mate, you can set your kids up for that. And so I don't know. I don't know. But it's, I think there's sometimes where money comes and goes, doesn't it? I think health is more important. I think Anthony Joshua, if it's money, listen, it might not be the Riyadh season kind of the money, but he's a big, beautiful man who speaks well. He's always going to make a lot of money, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Final thing I want to touch on from that card, and I'm sure Danny will run through the undercard in more depth at some point, is Josh Warrington, who left his gloves in the centre of the ring. What a career he's had.
Unbelievable career, and I think that's good. He's going out at the highest level, I was going to say a world title. It fell through, didn't it, last minute, but although he did fight for the IBO, and Josh, like you say, he's just that little bit older now. Josh has had an unbelievable career from the small hall, fighting packed out. That Leeds arena was mental. Being a Manchester United fan, I wasn't the biggest fan of the chants, but I really like Josh. His family, his dad Sean. I think that's that doesn't get enough credit. The father-son relationship there, what they've done, very few do it successful and still have the love that they do for each other. I think it's an amazing career, and I think he went out at the very top, and it was nice to see.
And nice to catch up. We'll see you on Saturday.
Pleasure, man.
Goodbye.